Greetings, I'm Keith Massey. In this video, I will present my decipherment of the long-standing cryptographic puzzle known as the Shugborough Inscription. The Shugborough Inscription is an enigmatic series of letters carved on the 18th century shepherd's monument at Shugborough Hall in Staffordshire, England. The precise meaning of these letters has eluded scholars for centuries. The Shepherd's Monument includes a relief based on French painter Nicolas Poussin's Et in Arcadia Ego. Here is the inscription in question, which is situated below the relief. You can see here, between the letters D and M, the letters O-U-O, S-V-A, V-V. I believe I've solved the mystery. I was an Arabic linguist at the top-secret National Security Agency for 4 years after 9/11, and I was trained there in cryptological methods. But my solution to this puzzle draws primarily on things I have learned while teaching Latin in a public high school for the last 9 years. First off, the D and M are very likely the ancient Roman abbreviation of Dis Manibus, for the manes, found very widely on tomb inscriptions. The manes were understood as ancestral spirits of the underworld. The abbreviation DM is even found on very early Christian tomb inscriptions, such as this 3rd century CE example from Rome. And this is a clue to the correct interpretation of the longer series of letters on the Shugborough inscription. This inscription was intended to be understood as a tomb memorial composed in Latin. The beginning of the inscription, O-U, matches a 2nd century CE tombstone of a Roman matron from North Africa. O-V-B-Q, which is an abbreviation for Oro ut bene quiescat, I pray that she may rest well. The convention of making a distinction between the letters U and V arose in the late Middle Ages, so the Shugborough inscription would certainly abbreviate the Latin word ut as U and not V, as we see in the older inscription. I was then struck by the presence of 3 V's near the end of the Shugborough inscription. As someone trained in cryptography, I assume that any time you have a letter that occurs more often than other letters, you're looking at an important clue. So the question we ask, is there a place somewhere in Latin literature where 3 V's occur prominently? If so, this inscription may be somehow quoting such a passage. One such item that comes immediately to mind is Julius Caesar's famous quote, Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. But since my interpretation of OU as oro ut, I pray that, was already on very firm ground, I couldn't see any reasonable interpretation that allowed me to incorporate Caesar's quote here. But then I recalled Jesus' statement in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life, which in St. Jerome's Vulgate translation is rendered, Ego sum via, et veritas, et vita. And so, I put all this together and crafted a possible Latin statement that used the introduction, oro ut, I pray that, and then incorporated the other letters, especially some form of via, veritas, and vita. I wanted to use only basic vocabulary and produce a grammatical sentence. I interpret the inscription and translate it as follows. Oro ut omnes sequantur viam ad veram vitam. I pray that all may follow the way to true life. I've already demonstrated that the oro ut portion of my interpretation is certainly attested in tomb inscriptions. Other parts of my interpretation are equally found in literature we may assume would be available to the creator of the inscription. The phrase veram vitam is attested in the Vulgate New Testament itself, ut apprehendant veram vitam, that they may take hold of true life. 1 Timothy 6:19. And notice the following in a biblical commentary on John 14:6, contemporary with the making of the Shugborough Inscription. Viam quaitur ad veram vitam, the way by which it is gone to true life. And note finally that the phrase ut omnes sequantur is attested elsewhere as well, such as in the writings of Bishop Ussher, which predates the Shugborough Inscription. Ut omnes sequantur vocantem, that all may follow the one calling. I believe my proposal provides a sensible and credible interpretation of this long-standing mystery. My interpretation produces a straightforward and grammatical sentence, all parts of which are attested in tomb inscriptions and in texts predating or contemporary with the creation of the Shugborough Inscription.